My name is Duha, as you see, and I head the SME Advisory services at Protiviti. I know it's late, so I'm gonna try to keep this light and as interactive as possible. And the lights are blinding me, so I'm coming down because I wanna talk to you. So how many SMEs do we have here in the room? How many people in business in general? So unless you're purely in academia, you're in business, right? How does the market feel this year? Louder. Bad. Good for you. I'm going to come back to you since you're doing good. Yeah. How's the competition? Fierce. It's tough. How do I change this? It feels like the Hunger Games. This year feels like the Hunger Games. Do you know anybody familiar with this movie? Have you seen the movie, read the book, heard of it? So basically what they do, they take 12 people, they throw them in an arena, they make them fight it out till somebody wins. This is what our market feels like right now. We're all fighting over a very small pie, a limited number of projects, and we're all doing the same thing, regardless of what industry you're in. If you're in the restaurant industry, you're trying to do the same thing. If you're in the car industry, you're doing the same thing. If you're a bank, you're doing the same thing. And we keep lowering our prices, and we keep lowering our prices, trying to undercut the competition and win business, right? Where does it end? We're hurting ourselves as businesses, whether we are large enterprises or SMEs or a small to medium business enterprises. We're competing in the Hunger Games. We're killing each other. We're not working as a community. It's become a huge price war. So what we need to do is to compete differently, compete smartly. And how do we do that? You have to think of what do you bring to the table. Do you know Ocean's 11? Has anybody seen this movie? By show of hands. Okay. So we have this guy, Ocean, who wanted to rob one of the biggest casinos in Vegas. And in order to do that, he assembled a crew of 11 people. That's why it's called Ocean's 11. Now, I'm not asking you to go out and rob banks and casinos, please, huh? That's not the purpose of this presentation. But what happened, he handpicked those 11 people, not because they're his friends or because he likes them, because they're good at what they do. Each one of these people that were in that team that successfully, mind you, robbed the bank or the casino, and they robbed it again because they did Ocean 12, and they robbed it for a third time because they did Ocean 13. Because they were good at what they do. From that little guy at the back who could just fold himself into like a small container so they can smuggle him into the vault, to the people who are communication expert, to the explosion expert, these people had value to add. So competition is not by undercutting prices. Be good at something. Know what's your value add. Why should I buy the phone you offer, not to your competitor? Why should I come to your shop? Why should I come to your bank? Why should I come to your telecom? Whatever business you're in, what's your value add? This is what people want. Because, yes, Neo. Any Matrix fans here, except myself? Okay, so basically, people do not buy features and benefits anymore. Honestly, when you go to buy a phone, do you ask, what's the features and benefits? You must be an engineer. Other than that, when you go to buy something, you don't look for features and benefits, right? How many people here have iPhones? I'm not advertising, but how many people here have iPhones? Okay. I can safely tell you that most of the other smartphones available in the markets have more features and benefits than iPhone. Right? And they're less expensive. Why do we buy iPhones? We buy the experience. We don't buy the phone. Right? We buy the experience. Chances are, if you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, and you have an iTunes account, and probably an Apple TV at your home, and. You buy an experience. People no longer buy products. Because in reality, at this age of industry, quality goes without saying. Nobody's going to go buy a messed up product, Troy, or excuse my language, a crappy product. I have to declare that I have a cold, I'm running a slight fever, so neither I nor Protiviti are responsible to what comes out of my mouth. Because I'm heavily medicated. But what I have to tell you is, again, from the movies, Jerry Maguire fans, there were two catchphrases in that movie. Show me the money, and you had me at hello. You have to hook your clients early on. You have to create that experience. And it's important here to snap out of this movie and fun atmosphere and go to something a bit scientific. When I say customer experience, I don't mean customer service. I mean the entire experience. From the moment you make contact with the client, be it if they step in your showroom, or they come into your offices, or your sales rep goes to visit them, or they call you, or they run into you in a conference, until you conclude the business deal, and even afterwards. You cannot be good at one and not the other. You have to excel in the entire customer experience. Since everybody's picking on banks today, I'll do the same, just to make an example. You cannot have a great bank with great branch experience and your mobile app is bad. People will automatically go that, their mobile app. Their mobile app is bad. So we're talking about the entire interaction in all its levels. Why is this happening? The market is changing. Why are we talking experience? We're no longer talking product or service or nitty-gritty details and features and niches and benefits and all that. Well, first thing, competition is fierce, like we established in the beginning. So you need to be better. And I think we've exhausted all the quality that we can introduce to our products. So it's the experience that matters. Number two, expectations. People are becoming very picky because they have so many options, right? Previously, a few years back, there were only one or two options in everything, in most products. Now, options are endless. There are so many businesses. There's so much competition. Three, everything is a touch point, like what I said. Your interaction with the client is no longer within your working place or within your office. Okay? Your social media, your internet, your e-channels, your people, even after working hours, the way they behave, the way they look, the way they handle calls. Okay? It's becoming a community thing. And finally, social media or social engagement. Like somebody rightfully pointed out earlier, if you're a disgruntled employee or a disgruntled customer, the first thing you do is you go to social media to complain, basically. And because of that, make sure you don't upset your clients. Now, forget that I'm a consultant. Forget that I'm an advisor. Forget that you're a business owner. Remember that you're a client. Okay? You probably are an owner of one business, but you are a client of hundreds of businesses. How do you feel when you get bad service, when you get bad product, when you get a rude employee, when you get a bad application? Always put yourself in your client's shoes. You dismiss the entire brand. Unfortunately, we do this as people. One bad interaction, one bad experience does not account for the entire good experiences we have. We automatically dismiss the entire organization. That's what we usually do. as a human being. And in some statistics, it says for every one bad interaction, it takes 12 to 15 good interaction to reestablish the trust in the brand. Now, we go back and we say it's tough times. We're cutting prices. How can I do this? Well, surprisingly enough, in so many statistics, so many businesses, so many studies, it was proven that some studies showed the number of 89, one study showed the number of 92, so I'm gonna assume a safe average of 90. 90% of people are willing to pay more for good customer experience. You don't want the 10%. Let them go buy the cheap stuff. Deliver that experience. You want the 90%, right? Because in reality, what we remember is the quality of the experience. We don't remember the price. And I'm going to ask you, think of any product, be it your car, a vacation you went into, a home, a mobile phone, a bank, a telecom. You remember your best experience with them, and you remember your worst experience with them. And the rest fades in the background. Think of all the restaurants you've ever been to in your life. You remember the ones that made you feel special, that made you feel like a VIP person coming to visit, okay? And you remember the ones where you had to wait to the food and the order was wrong and the food was salty and blah, 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 blah. And then you have like the regular dining experiences, which you might go back there, you might not go back there, something happened that you liked it. But we remember the good and we remember the bad. And everything else in between goes away, basically. So concentrate on the experience and think like a client. Don't think like a business owner. Think like a client, because that's the determining factor. Because in reality, be it we are startups, we are SMEs, or we even big enterprises, we have this problem of pride and what we do is right, and who is this person to complain? This person is your client. He's buying your product. You're not buying your product. So listen to them. Experience matters. This is going to be the deciding factor in deciding businesses that win or excel in the coming few years versus others. It's no longer products, it's no longer features and benefits or quality. So how do we do that? Being that we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to sum it up. It takes courage. You need to lead this change in your organization. Okay? Invite participation. Talk to your employees. Talk to your team. Talk to your friends, to your family. Everybody has something good to say. Listen to what they have to comment on your organization or your business or your offering. Build around users. Listen to users. You can actually learn more from angry clients than from happy ones. Because the happy ones are like, yeah, thank you very much, blah, 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 it's all well. But when this one client picks up the phone or comes to your office or writes on social media, angry, upset, don't ignore them. That's the worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing you can do. Because you ignore them, it makes it even worse. They start blabbing about it. Listen to them. 80% of client complaints are legible, and they can lead to an improvement in your business. So make sure to listen to people and change the company culture. This is very important. Customer experience, customer service, is everyone's responsibility. It's not just the responsibility of the front-ending people. Even back office have a responsibility towards the customer because their customer is your employees. So it has to be in the culture of creating a memorable experience for employees. There's one of the hotels, I honestly don't remember its name, but their induction process, even for bellboys, you know, people who carry the bag, they actually welcome them as guests in the hotel, as VIP guests in the hotel for 2 days. And let them live this experience to see the value of what they offer the client, okay? And know how to offer it. And they make them take pride in what they do, basically. Create a community of clients. Again, I'll go back to Apple because it's just something a lot of us can relate to. Apple has a community. With their iTunes and App Store and whatever, they created certain communities. They have haters, but they have people who fight for them fiercely, okay? So create a community of people who will be the ambassadors of your brand, and they will defend it with you, okay? And finally, add value. Don't be just one of the crowd. When I'm selling you a product or a service, I need to let you know how it helps you, how I'm adding value to your quality of life, to your business, what have you, whatever service I'm providing you or product, how is it making your life better? So it's not easy. Put yourself in your client's shoes always, and best of luck in this Hunger Game. May the odds ever be with you. Thank you.